Yellowstone is the home of a gigantic volcano which will cause devastation on a gigantic scale when it finally goes kaboom. Now US Geological Survey, USGS, has announced that a new swarm of earthquakes have rocked the geological time bomb, starting on February 8. Some people actually think the moon is going to turn green in April. We're glad to report that the world is not about to end, because the USGS does not believe an eruption is imminent. Mike Poland, USGS research geophysicist, and Jamie Farrell, who are assistant research professor with the University of Utah, wrote, "Over the past several days, an earthquake swarm has been ongoing at Yellowstone." Before you read any more, keep in mind that swarms like this account for more than 50% of the seismic activity at Yellowstone, and no volcanic activity has occurred from any past such events. While it may seem worrisome, the current seismicity is relatively weak and actually represents an opportunity to learn more about Yellowstone. Last year, scientists warned that human civilization could be wiped out in a gigantic volcanic super-eruption powerful enough to blast us back to the Stone Age. New research found that we have been lucky that one of the apocalyptic events has not taken place during our time on the planet, and suggested the average time between the cataclysmic events is much less than previously thought. Experts believed the time interval to be only slightly longer than the age of civilization, dating from the agricultural revolution 12,000 years ago. Scientists have shown that super-eruptions, which can blanket an entire continent with volcanic ash and alter climate on a global scale, are capable of returning humanity to a pre-civilization state. According to geological records, the two most recent super-eruptions occurred between 20,000 and 30,000 years ago. Lead researcher Professor Jonathan Ruggier, from the University of Bristol, said, "On balance, we have been slightly lucky not to experience any super-eruptions since then. But it is important to appreciate that the absence of super-eruptions in the last 20,000 years does not imply that one is overdue. Nature is not that regular. What we can say is that volcanoes are more threatening to our civilization than previously thought. Like a giant meteor impact, a super-eruption can trigger a nuclear winter effect caused by dust thrown into the atmosphere, blotting out the sun. Just one of the volcanic explosions can unleash more than 1,000 gigatons, 1,000 billion tons, of erupted mass." Previous estimates made in 2004 suggested that super-eruptions occurred on average every 45,000 to 714,000 years and posed no immediate threat. The recalculation, published in the journal Earth and Planetary Science Letters, was based on a statistical analysis of a large database of past volcanic eruptions. It produces a revised range of 5,200 to 48,000 years with a best guess average of 17,000 years. Yellowstone National Park in the U.S. is the world's leading supervolcano hotspot. A dormant volcano in the heart of the park sits on top of a huge reservoir of molten rock and has produced 3 previous super-eruptions, the last occurring 630,000 years ago. Experts have warned that Yellowstone could be a ticking time bomb. David Pyle, professor in earth sciences at Oxford University, said, "In volcanology, many of the easiest questions to ask are the hardest to answer. This paper analyses data on past eruptions to ask, when will the next globally significant eruption happen? It turns out that these super-eruptions are still very rare events, but just not quite as rare as previously thought. Yellowstone is no nearer erupting today than it was yesterday, and it is still most likely that there won't be another super-eruption anywhere on Earth for thousands of years to come."